Hey guys, and welcome to another one of my videos. Today I will be speaking about everything to do with body recomposition. So I've had a lot of people asking me recently about recomping your body and sort of how to do that and how to approach it. Now if you are unfamiliar, when I refer to recomp, I refer to staying the same weight but losing fat and gaining muscle. So if you look at these two pictures I'm about to put on the screen here and here. Okay, so in both of these pictures, I am the exact same weight. But as you can see, I look a little bit different. Now to get to this level, I did not do a bulk and then a cut, which is the traditional means of progressing your body. What I actually did is I incorporated some things into my training and into my life that allowed me to slowly build muscle and lose excess fat and stay at the same weight. Today I'll be giving you some tips if you want to do the same thing. I know that bulking and cutting isn't for everyone, and so let's get into the tips. Number one, really most important thing is find out first why you want to do a recomp. If you're recomping because you're too scared of gaining weight on a bulk cycle, then I would reassess your priorities, because really if you want overall to have a really good physique, you may have to do a bulk and a cut at some point. I'm currently bulking. I've spent years recomping and now I've sort of hit a wall, and you know, recomping your body can only take you so far, and then you will have to actually gain some weight and build some muscle. So if you're trying to recomp because you're afraid of gaining weight, I would probably tackle that fear of gaining weight before you do this. But if you're wanting to recomp your body because you're really happy at the weight you are at now, but you just want to maybe, you know, look a little bit more muscular, feel a little bit more defined, then maybe recomping is for you. I know some people, when they first get into the fitness world, they feel that they're at a comfortable weight, they don't really want to gain any more weight, but then again, they don't really want to lose any weight, and so recomping would be absolutely perfect for you. So find out your priorities first up. Okay, so once that is all out of the way, you are going to have to find your maintenance calories. Now, I get hundreds of girls coming to me on 1300 calorie diets, even 1600 calorie diets, thinking that they're bulking or thinking that they're eating too much. Girls, this frustrates me to no end, all right? And I can get a little bit harsh about this. You know that that is too little. You know it. You have a brain, you have an education, you know that that is not enough for your body. So if you're expecting to go and eat 1300 calories and then gain muscle and lose fat, you are completely wrong, because the body doesn't work like that. When you put the body under stress by eating under what you should be, your body is going to work harder to hold onto those fat stores because it thinks that, you know, it's got to sort of save all of the excess energy coming in case you need it in the future. You are doing your body no good by that. Not to say that when you are young and female, this is the time when A, your metabolism is going to be at its fastest, B, it's really important for your fertility that you make sure your hormones are in check, and C, because of how protein synthesis works, if you are eating in a calorie deficit, you're just not going to build much muscle, and that's the end of it. And also, you're not going to have the energy for life. And I think that most of the reason I did so well in recomping my body was that I was eating, you know, for years now I've been eating 2000 plus calories, and I am a small person, you know, I'm 5'1", and I'm eating 2000 plus calories, didn't gain any weight, and I had energy for life, and so I have a big energy expenditure because I have enough energy coming in. It just makes sense to me. And so I think I might make a video on reverse dieting, because there are so many girls out there eating not enough for their body, and it's really important to reverse diet up, get to a maintainable level, and then go onwards. So what you want to do first is find those maintenance calories. And now the way I recommend to do this is trial and error, all right? So I know that there are calculators online that will tell you your exact calorie you need to have every day. The calculators are wrong. They don't know you. They don't know your body. They don't know your history. They don't know your activity levels. I know that you can put in your activity levels, but who even knows what their activity levels are? So you need to trial and error. You have your whole life. Don't freak out if you spend a few weeks trying to find out where your calories are supposed to be. Like, you have your whole life to figure this stuff out, and that's okay. So if you spend a few weeks having to tweak a few things here and there, in the long run, that's going to give you so much more benefit than if you just pop your stats into an online calculator, it says eat 1400 calories, so away you go. Like, no, don't do that. So what I would approach this, and again, I might do another video on reverse dieting, is I would say, okay, I'm gonna start out, I'm gonna trial and have 1700 calories a day. So for 1 week, you have 1700 calories. Now, usually a macro split I recommend when starting out is 50% carbs, 25% protein, 25% fat. To get your 1700 calories, and you either want to weigh yourself every day and then take an average of 7 at the end of the week, or if you have a bad mentality towards the scale, just weigh yourself once a week and notice the fluctuations, notice the way you feel, notice your energy levels, and then reassess from there. You might need to add 50 calories. You might find that your weight's dropping, and you don't want it to drop at this stage, so you add 100 and go from there. So what I did is that I started at the start of the year, before I started my bulking phase, between the start of January and sort of mid-February, every week I went up by 50 calories, and my weight did not change at all because the body adapts. And so if you do it slowly over time, because of metabolic adaptation, the body will sort of slowly say, okay, we'll just use this extra energy. Instead of going, bam, here's an extra 500 calories, your body will freak out, and you'll freak out because it'll start to hold on to water, and you'll think, great, I'm getting fat, everything's over. Don't do that. So we've got our maintenance calories. What comes next? This is a huge one. It's huge. It is like the difference between gaining the muscle and just not. And this is working for progressive overload. So if you think that you can just eat your maintenance calories, go to the gym every week, do your exercises, and then bam, one day you like look like a muscular person, sorry, doesn't really work that way. So the way that we grow muscle is by tearing our muscle fibers and repairing them bigger. And the way to do this is to put your muscles under load. So how do you do this? Progressive overload. This means that every week when you go into the gym and do your workout, you want to be doing more. Now this could be more volume via more sets, or this could be more via upping the weight. Personally, I recommend upping the weight each week and not focusing so much on sets. And I also believe in giving yourself a rep range. Now what this means is, say, take an exercise like an incline dumbbell press. Set your rep range at 8 to 12 reps. Now when you first start, you want to be doing a weight that allows you to be in that 8 rep range. So say that might be 9 kilos. You get to the 8th rep and you have no more to give. What will happen is that as you build your strength, the next week you might be able to do 9 reps. The next week you might be able to do 10 reps, and then by the time you get to 12, it's time to up the weight to 10 kilos, and then you go back to that 8 rep range. Now of course this doesn't work like a perfect science, but I think that you understand the point here. It's every week you need to be doing a little bit more to push your muscles that bit further, and this is something I've really been incorporating into my training lately, and I've seen more progress than I have done in years. It's really important to push yourself that next level so that your muscles have that time to sort of tear themselves and then repair themselves and become stronger, because stronger, bigger muscles equals a more defined look, and that's the look that you're going for. Now I'm not 100% sure on the science of it, but I believe that as this occurs, some of the fat stores in your body get turned over into muscle to help with this process. I will do a bit more of the science behind it and maybe leave some journal articles down below if you're a bit of a nerd like me, but this is how you end up losing body fat and gaining muscle mass. And so keep that in mind, it is possible. So this is my last big tip, and it is a huge one, and it's something that I believe is important in any single training program, life change, goal setting, what have you, and that is consistency. Consistency is key. I know it's cliche, but it's true. If you're committing to it 1 week, and 1 week you are hitting your macros and you are training like a boss, and then the next week you're like, nah, can't be bothered. And then the next week you're like, whoa, yeah, training like a boss, I'm back into it. And the next week you're like, oh, I'm tired now. And then the next week you're like, oh yeah, back training. And then the next week, you guys get my point. What I'm trying to say is that if you make a goal, stick to it. I see way too many people being really strict with themselves 1 week, and then the next week they completely fall off the bandwagon because they've been too strict with themselves. Do what is sustainable for you, and you will stay consistent because it's what you enjoy. And that's why I preach exercising in a way you enjoy, because if you're exercising because you feel that you have to, or you're exercising in a way that you don't enjoy whatsoever, like me, if I were to go running, like no, that's disgusting, ew, abort. Anyway, if I were to do that, that wouldn't be sustainable, and therefore I wouldn't have that consistency. But because I enjoy lifting weights and I enjoy the challenge and I enjoy counting my macros and I enjoy eating good food, that is why I'm able to be consistent. If you don't like those things, don't do them. Like, it's as simple as that. If you prefer to dance, go to a Zumba class. If you prefer to go running, go running. I've said this so many times, guys, and I want you to listen to me. Do what you enjoy, because that's how it's sustainable and that's how you will stay consistent. So my 3 big tips on recomping your body are to find your maintenance calories and stick to them. Progressive overload in your training has to be key, and consistency is numero uno. Now keep in mind that if you do want to recomp your body, this is going to take a long time. I didn't do this overnight. This took years. And this is why people do prefer to do bulking and cutting versus the recomp, because the bulking and cutting is a little bit quicker. So the idea behind that is you spend a few months bulking, then you might do a mini cut or you might do a larger cut, and then you might actually start bulking again, because you're gaining that muscle mass, losing a bit of excess fat, regaining a bit of muscle mass, losing some excess fat, and then before you know it, you're like, bam, yeah, I look good, I like this, and then you go into maintenance phase. Whereas recomping, it's really hard to see the results quickly, and it takes a really long time, and that's why I don't even 100% recommend it. I'm just like, you know, giving you all my best advice. And I think that the reason I did it wasn't even intentional. It was just because I was at a place in my life where I didn't really want to focus on gaining a heap of muscle mass, but because I love bodybuilding and I put a lot of passion into it and a lot of work into it, and I got those newbie gains a few years ago, naturally that just did start to happen. And I'm not saying that that's going to happen to you. It might do, and if so, that's great. That's just what happened to me. I hope you found these tips useful, and I hope you enjoy my sort of more formal videos, I guess. Are these even formal? I don't know, I have a bit of a laugh at myself. Anyway, as long as you took something out of this, that's all I really care about. And just remember that it's not all about aesthetics, of course. It's not all about trying to look more defined. For me and for you, it should be all about feeling your best rather than looking your best. And I know that the two kind of come hand in hand, but I just want you guys to remember that a lot of you just stress out so much about the way that you look, and I get that that's a big thing. I 100% I understand it, but just remember that it's what's inside that counts the most, you know? You can't, what's that Roald Dahl quote? You can have a crooked nose and a wonky face, I don't know, but as long as you are happy and as long as you smile, that happiness will shine out from you, and that is key, guys. That is key. You could be the most beautiful person in the world, but if you have a sour attitude and a sour energy and personality, what are you really? You're not really all that beautiful. You guys must have been in the same position where you see someone on TV and you're like, damn, they look good. And then as the show goes on, you realize that they're really not a very good person. And all of a sudden you're like, how did I ever find that person like good looking to start with? Because it's what's in the inside that shows. And just remember that. And that's my little pep talk, you know. You can recomp, you can bulk, you can cut, you can do whatever you want, but it's what's inside of you that counts. And that is my little ramble for today. I hope I can help some of you all. As always, leave me a nice little comment in the comment box. If you have any questions, you know where to head. Follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube, and yeah, stay cool, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Oh my god, this angle makes me look even tinier than I already am. I am a midget. Oh my god.